I think the sort of war hawk side of the party is getting smaller and smaller. I mean, with everything going on in Ukraine, and I really can't see a huge number of people being, especially China. I mean, you're talking about two world superpowers.
It feels like opening
other.
another endless war, right? Like,
Yeah.
didn't we just get out of the Middle East in some respect?
And we're already spending more money in Ukraine than we spent in Afghanistan. I just can't. It's so. There's so much media now that the days of like the Gulf of Tonkin and these things where they can stage an event and they can get people riled up, and they've got this like dead zone before the truth really comes out, and then you get momentum going, and people are so afraid to go back on what they said. They're like it's like the sunk cost fallacy. I just think that time is coming to an end these days.
I think
everything's on video.
I think the U.S. I don't know. Maybe they're just realizing they can't keep lying about this, because any sane person. I mean, Jon Stewart goes on Colbert's show and says this makes the most sense. But I'm wondering. I guess I should put it this way. My prediction would be, in the event the U.S. does want to go to war, China invades Taiwan. The U.S. comes out and says, "Oh heavens! Oh, the lab leak, that was China's fault." The majority of the MAGA side of people, which includes some libertarians, independents, they all say no war. And then your McCarthy's and your McConnell's, your Lindsey Graham's are just like, everybody was ragging on China just 10 minutes ago, and we can't allow this. You can't change your mind and now act like they're the good guys. And then the Democrats are all going to come out and be like, China's always been the bad guy. What are you guys talking about? Conservatives, you're always defending Xi Jinping. And
Hillary Clinton's like, I loved Vladimir Putin all of these years.
Well, no, they'll still hate Russia, but they're going to come out and be like, why won't you support our wars? And then every journalist, every news outlet's going to come out. Every poll's going to be like, we surveyed 5 billion people and found that 95% want war with China. So if you don't agree, you're a weirdo. And then you're going to get a bunch of normie people in cities being like, oh, yeah, okay, I guess World War III or whatever.
I bet if they were to be like, and by the way, Anthony Fauci is involved, something, Anthony Fauci would be like, and by the way, I have documents of Barack Obama being involved, Bill Clinton being involved. I have evidence of the Clinton Foundation being involved. Like,
if it was all
Fauci
that, though,
is the nexus of this stuff, and he knows everybody that's working on this.
I mean, he's very specifically NIH, but it would be funny if just like some guy no one ever heard of shows up, and then he just starts putting out all this evidence on all of these people, and it's like the government's actually run by someone like some shadow government no one ever heard of, like an Epstein level guy. I mean, because the reality is that there's probably some big corporate lobbyists. Shout out to Woody Harrelson. He's talking about these cartels. There's probably some big corporate lobbyists that you've never heard of, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, whatever, who come to these people, these politicians, tell them what they need in exchange for funding, and you've never heard of these people.
Yeah, and they'll send someone to talk to the politician, so the politician doesn't even know who the people are.
So it's not even like shadow government conspiracy level stuff. It's like, we know these big investment firms exist. We don't know who's doing the principal lobbying, but the politicians do.
Yeah,
that's true.
They know who's coming to them and telling them like, look, we need this bill passed. Otherwise, your PAC's not getting $100 million. And they're like, but if I don't get that, I don't win. Mm-hmm. You're right. So better get the bill passed. And they go, you got it, boss.